Hey everybody, welcome to the first part of the thematic Let's Play of City of Chaos. Sorry it's been a little while to get this thing started. I was a little under the weather and couldn't speak very well. So, alright, well let's start off with some flavor. Attend to me, O adventurers. Over many leagues have you traveled in answer to my plea for aid. Now it is my duty to tell you of the magnificent quest which lies ahead. Before you stand the gates of the city of Byronitar, once an orderly and prosperous place, capital of a great empire. Alas for Byronitar, a terrible curse has been placed on her orderly splendor. Chaos rules now. All is in flux. No order at all remains. Beasts and evil spirits from afar and wide have descended upon the city, now a dangerous and lost place. Its citizens are unaware of the chaos which has started to spread out from the city and will soon cover all this fair land. I, Calatin Ziamatar, greatest sorcerer of this land, have been unable to defeat this spreading anarchy. You have been brought here to solve the mystery of the City of Chaos. Learn the ways of the city, find the clues which will help you solve the riddle. Bring order back to poor Byronitar. Go now, be not afraid, conquer the chaos, and free the city of Byronitar. All right, so that's the flavor of the story here, of the world we're going to be exploring. Excuse me. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to take the tile cards and we need to shuffle these up. So I'm just going to kind of do a pile shuffle here. It's not really that necessary to get like a super good shuffle on these. You just kind of want to make sure that the special locations and the city tiles are somewhat randomly distributed. Okay. So there's the exploration tiles. And then over here we also have all of our cards. So all of our cards are off the table because eventually the city will take up like almost this entire table. It gets really large. So I've moved everything off of here. So first thing we want to do, or the next thing we want to do, is take the action deck and give that a shuffle. These are not the best quality cards. They are just kind of glossy cardboard. Nothing special at all. Okay. So there's shuffle. Give a cut there. All right. And the next deck we have to shuffle is the location deck. So these are all the different special locations that we will be visiting. Okay, and then all of the other decks stay unshuffled. So we have the items, which we'll be told to like draw certain items, magic spells, specials, special locations, and then our guild cards and the clue cards. And then here we have our character sheets. In blue, we have Dizzy. It's going to start with 10 body points. I'm just going to keep track of clues, guilds, special items, groats, and heads. And in green, we have Bing. Here's our money. This is the metal money from near and far. And like I said, with the house rules, where each of us is going to start with 5 groats. So that's going to be a silver groat. Okay, and then I have these little skulls from Dead Men Tell No Tales. These are going to be for the body, or not the body points, but the heads. Heads are like trophies. When you kill something, you get a head, and it's kind of a morality currency, I would say, because from what I can tell, only like good characters, you get more heads for killing good characters. So basically, the more heads you are carrying around, the more evil your character is. And then one thing I forgot in the house rule video was two additional actions that we can take per turn. So like I said, we'll get 2 actions per turn. An action can be movement, using a power outside of combat, rest, healing 1 body point or hit point, Focus takes a whole turn to regain 5 combat points. And then the other 2 actions are participate in combat, which you get 2 rounds of combat for each action, or flee from combat. Okay. And then, yeah, so then over here we have notes, an FAQ, and the Tome of Chaos. Here we've got the dice, the cube of chaos, a 6-sided dice and an 8-sided dice, whiskey, and we're ready to take the first turn. Okay, so I think Bing arrived at the city first, so he's standing at the gates and he's going to move. So he can move up to 8, as I said in the house rule video. So 1, 2, 3. He's just going to explore straight ahead. Okay, location. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. We're ending in a location, so all of our movement will stop. And now we will draw our first location. Very exciting. The stables. The smell of animals wafts over you, and you find yourself in well-kept Vriandi stables. A young stable boy rises from a bale of hay and wipes a sweaty brow on a dirty neckerchief. Do you wish to purchase a Vriandi for 6 groats? Take a Vriandi card from the items pack. Oh, so a Vriandi must be some kind of magical creature or something. I have no idea what it looks like. I can only imagine. Or we can interact with the stable boy. Well, I don't have 6 groats, so I can't buy a Vriandi. So I think we will interact with the stable boy. So we're going to turn to the Tome of Chaos here. And we're going to find the stable boy. And there he is. So maybe if we help him, we'll get a deal. Let's try that. So the stable boy, we're going to choose to help him. I'm going to roll the Cube of Chaos here, and I get the Star of David. So that tells me to go to paragraph 456. Stable boy, help. I like that it gives you the name of the encounter and what you did, just so you can really make sure that you went to the right paragraph. Okay, you do not look too well. Can I help you, you ask? As you walk towards the bewildered boy, his body shakes and vibrates violently, and in a flash of brilliant blue light, he disappears, only to reappear across the room, still shaking violently. Each time you draw close to the boy, he disappears again. You waste a few minutes trying to catch the elusive stable boy, miss a turn, realizing that you will never catch the lad. You shrug your shoulders and leave. Interesting. All right, so we're going to miss a turn. So that means that we're going to miss our that next turn, because when you encounter a space actually no. So we're going to miss our next action, because our action was to move in. We encountered the space, so then we would take a second action, but we spent our whole second action chasing the boy around. I forgot the new rules made up by the designer and the house rules. So Bing's turn is done. Now the stable still stays there, so there are different ways we can interact with the stable boy. We don't know if he might react to being threatened or just greeted differently. Or we can always come back here and buy a Vriandi. But anyways, now it's Dizzy's turn. Dizzy's going to explore. He's just going to go off here. We're going to say like this way. This way is north. So Dizzy's going to explore north here. 1, 2, 3. And it's a city. See how we can make this. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so he ended his turn on an empty tile in a street. So we're going to draw an action card. Let's see what he encounters. A cheese wire. As you walk past a dilapidated cheese shop, you notice a piece of fine wire with handles at each end. This is a cheese wire, a most inconspicuous yet vicious weapon, flavored by the Assassin's Guild. Very cool. So this is an item. In combat, the first round, you get a +1 to attack and a -1 to defense. If the player damages their opponent, then a hold is secured and the cheese wire digs in. For every round of combat, once a hold is secured, add a further +1 to attack and a +1 to defense. Continue adding until combat ends. Wow, that is nasty. So it's looking like Dizzy might become an assassin in the City of Chaos. We're going to see what happens. So he's going to take that item, put that over here by his character sheet. And now he gets another turn. Oh, nope. I got to remember the way the rules work. So you only take an encounter at the end of both of your actions. That was updated. So he's going to take another movement action, and we'll pretend that he found that cheese wire on the next tile, which is fine. So he will move here. He will just move to the street, and this is where he found the cheese wire. Next turn, he'll move into this location. All right, so now we're going back to Bing. So Bing is going to leave the stables. 1, 2, walk south. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so he's going to go into another building. What strange locale did he encounter? Oh, this is cool. A weapons galore shop. This strange-looking shop is stacked to the gills with weapons. The weird shopkeeper smiles at you and says, "Anything take your fancy, sir?" All right, so we can pay the shopkeeper and take the relevant card from the items pile. A stiletto, a catapult, a knuckleduster, a boomerang, a Virandi jacket, or a sword stick. Ooh, man, the sword stick sounds pretty cool. It's like I think it's like a walking cane that you can pull a blade out of. I don't want to spend all of our money, though. Let's spend 1, and we'll take the knuckledusters. So I'm going to take $1, or put $1 in. I'm going to take my 4 change. And then we're going to look through the items deck, which these are kind of in alphabetical order. And we're going to find the knuckledusters. Let's see here. Knuckledusters. So items are not limited to the number of cards. There might be a couple knuckledusters in here, but if we find 3, then we just write it down. Knuckledusters. You see the funniest pair of nutcrackers. Only after you have picked them up and examined them do you realize that these are actually a pair of brass knuckledusters. Favored by thugs and street brawlers, this weapon is the meat in a fist sandwich. Add 1 to unarmed attack. The only weapon a pugilist can use with their skills. So a pugilist is one of the guilds. So Bing might be looking to become a pugilist, which is a boxer. I love that word, pugilism. It's a good word. People don't use that word enough these days. Okay, so that was his first action. His second, he'll explore in this direction here. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4, 5, 6. Okay, we will draw a new location. The city gift shop. You enter a shop crammed with gaudy mementos of your visit to Byronitar. Oh, yeah, that's cool. as well as some absolutely awful novelty items. The items on sale: X-ray spectacles, Bull's slugball hat, a figurine of Emma Who, dark lens spectacles, assorted Tick-Ivarian teas, and a looking glass. If you wish to rob the shop, go to 630. I don't think Bing would rob the shop, at least not yet. And I'm not sure I want to buy any of these items, so we're just going to end our turn there. All right, so now it's Dizzy's turn. So he's way over here. And he's going to move into the shop for his first action. And let's see what he finds there. Let's see here. Cabal of the Magi. Before you lies a most beautiful sight. A building made of gossamer webbing hangs in mid-air, suspended on slender threads. Curious, you approach the building. Suddenly, an animated head pops into existence, looks at you and says, "Welcome to the Cabal of the Magi. I am sorry, but none of our magicians are available to show you around at present. May I help you?" If you are a guild member, say the word and enter. If you wish to join, go to 149. Otherwise, you may leave. Well, let's see what happens if we try to join the Cabal of the Magi. So we're going to turn to paragraph 149. All right, the Magi, join. You ask to join the mysterious world of the Magi. The head bobs in satisfaction and says, "If you will please follow me." You enter the strange guild across a swaying gossamer bridge. You are led around the immense guild until finally you see a sign. Pointing straight up, the sign reads, "Just jump for training." Feeling foolish, you do a little hop into the air. However, to your surprise, you don't come down again, but continue to ascend upwards. You pass another sign which says, "Now rotate." Now rotate, you think, as you float into the large room. You land on your head and crumple into a cushioned floor in an untidy heap. "Ah, a new recruit," says the kindly mage major. "Well, pick yourself up, and we'll begin your lesson." The mage major shows you the initial chants, mantras, and hand movements by which the Magi casts their spells. Eventually, you get the hang of it and can cast two simple spells: Aegis, a protection spell, and Fireball, an offensive spell. The Mage Major tells you the magic password and hands you your own Tome of Magic. Take a Magi Guild card from the pack and also the two spell cards from the Magic pack. You then leave the Cabal as a level 1 Magi. Very cool. All right, so Dizzy has just joined the Guild of the Magi. We're going to find the guild card. Okay, so there is the Guild of the Magi. The Magi. The magic password is Aliba Jumbar. You now possess a Tome of Magic, written in an arcane script which only a Magi can decipher. The tome contains two spells for your use, although more can be added: Fireball and Aegis. So we're going to find those two spells here. Let's see here. Fireball. Okay, there's Aegis. Let me take a closer look, see if I can find Fireball and spell a Fireball. All right, let's read these. Spell of Fireball. The spell is used in combat, replacing a weapon. Fireball, excuse me. Sorry about that. Fireball produces a whirling maelstrom of incredibly high temperature gases which using magic you can hurl at your opponent. You add a +2 to your attack and a -2 to your defense. Add a further +1 attack for every skill level achieved. So we're just a level 1 Magi right now. And then the Aegis spell. This spell, when cast, protects the Magi with a magical barrier. Aegis lasts for the entire remaining combat, after which the shield dissolves. While in effect, Aegis adds +1 to your defense per skill level. After the spell is cast, the Magi can attack as normal. However, Aegis takes a round to cast, during which the Magi must concentrate. A Magi cannot attack whilst casting and can only defend. Alright, so we have 2 spells here. To improve your spell casting, you can train at the Cabal at 3 groats per level. Once a member of the Cabal, you cannot join the Pyrotechnics, the Pneumologists, or the Mesmerists. Okay, so those are kind of my enemies. So if being here becomes a Pyrotechnic, a Pneumologist, or a Mesmerist, then being and Dizzy might end up as enemies. Alright, so I'm going to put this stuff with Bing, or with Dizzy's character sheet. Very cool. Okay, so he gets another turn, so I can come back and train. Or Bing could actually go and join the guild, I guess. Because you can have 2 different, there's 2 different cards, or they're the same, but 2 different characters can join the same guild. But he's going to leave and he's going to travel. 1, 2, 3. Four, 5, 6. All right, so he's going to find another location. And he found the Grinning Rat Inn. The Grinning Rat is a dirty hovel of an inn. However, it is also very popular. Wild music comes from a stage to the right on which naked figures dance. In front of you is the crowded bar with the landlord and topless bar staff busily serving drinks, whilst to your left there are numerous gambling tables. Do you watch the dancers, go to 100, interact with Sly Pearson, the owner, or try your hand at gambling? I know what I'm going to do. Dizzy is going to watch the dancers. So let's see what he sees. Turn to 100. The Grinning Rat. Watch. You watch the naked dancers cavorting on stage. Their exotic rhythms and writhing limbs enthrall you, although no one else in the rat takes any notice. You, however, lose a turn, being unable to pry yourself away. All right, so he will only get 1 action next turn, because that was his second action, and he is busy intently watching those dancers. So I think that's going to do it for our first video here. So let's kind of recap, keep the story in mind. So Bing entered the city. He discovered the stables and chased a phantom boy around, trying to learn about his secrets. Who knows what's going on there. We discovered the weapons store, which he bought the Knuckledusters, which were some kind of weird nutcracker-shaped Knuckledusters. I don't know. I really like that. I'd like that this game doesn't include art on the cards and for the creatures and stuff, because you really have to think about or imagine what they look like. Same as at the stables. They weren't selling horses, they were selling viandes. And then he ended his turn at the gift shop here, which you could buy all kinds of weird things, from X-ray spectacles to a bull's slug ball hat. And then Dizzy, he explored to the north of the city and he became a Magi. He also found the cheese wire weapon, so he's like this kind of like assassin mage now. He learned 2 spells and then ended his night at the Grinning Rat Inn watching some naked dancers. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed the first turn of this. This is, I'm really enjoying this. This game has a lot of really cool stuff. Again, as you guys can see, is it a game? Maybe. It is definitely more of a work of interactive fiction. And I think these house rules and the rules that the developers continuing to make really speed up the game, because we wouldn't have found like hardly any of this stuff by this time. So it's going to keep the game going. It's going to not, so it doesn't last 5 or 6 hours. So, all right, you guys. Well, I hope you have a good one, and come back in a couple of days with the second part. Bye-bye.